Do effective leaders wait for a sign or do they act with conviction? In today's world, faith isn't a feeling, it's a strategy. It's a bold first move when the outcome isn't guaranteed. As a leader, have you ever felt stuck waiting for clarity before making a move? Today, we're exploring what it means to lead with faith, not as a last resort, but as a first response. Because stepping out on faith isn't just poetic, it's a spiritual strategy. It's leadership posture that's rooted in vision, not certainty. Let's talk about how real leaders act before the roadmap is complete and why faith might just be the most underrated leadership tool that you have. Let's get into it.
Ken, I think you're absolutely right. Faith is one of those things that is so important and so vital in leadership because a lot of times we're looking for all the right signs, all the trends, all the data points. And many times that's not available for us to make a decision. So, what I wanted to do was discuss three key points today with regard to stepping out on faith as it pertains to leadership. So, the first point that I wanted to share with everyone today is that faith is the catalyst, not the confirmation. And what I mean by that is that leaders, we can't scan the sky for the bat signal. We can't wait for those magical signs to appear. Many times we have to push forward and walk ahead even when the fog has not lifted. And so there will be some times where it's unclear. There'll be times where we're not sure what is up, what is down, what is left, and is right. And that's okay because that's when we have to rely on our faith to sustain us when those times of uncertainty hit us. So, again, the reminder is faith is the catalyst, not the confirmation. We have to step out on that before we get the confirmation. Number two, clarity often follows obedience. And so in the Bible, you all may remember when Peter wanted to get out of the boat and walk on the water like Jesus did. And so what Peter did was he started stepping out, but as he started to question his faith, he started to sink. So the point being is sometimes you have to risk the soggy sandals to make sure that your faith floats, right? And so in
Right.
order to feel good about it and feel like, hey, I belong and I know that it's going to be okay, we got to step out on faith first and look at the risk in doing so. And then the last thing that I would say is playing it safe doesn't shift culture. And what I mean by that is if you're waiting, and you talked about this, Ken, if you're waiting for the perfect conditions, you're going to be leading from the sidelines. And so Ecclesiastes 11:4 reminds us that if you're watching the wind, you will never plant. And for whoever is looking at the clouds, you will never reap. And so, what I want us to remind and reconsider is that faith favors the bold and purpose rewards the brave. We have to step out on faith. We have to be willing to take that chance. We have to understand and recognize that it's not always going to be clear, but that's where faith comes in and stabilizes the uncertainty. So, with that, I want to remind everyone to lead with love, laugh with grace, and lift someone up today. I appreciate
Yeah.
y'all.
I think we could all use those words of wisdom. I think one of the things that you mentioned in one of your posts was is that in terms of leadership, faith is often a last resort and it's only called upon in a crisis
Yes, sir.
rather than cultivated from the heart. And I think
Right.
that was something that stood out for me.
I mean, what if we flipped that, right? What if we said, hey, rather than me going out there and them relying on faith to see how things turn out, what if we flipped that? What if we said, hey, I'm going to step out on faith first
Yeah.
and then see what happens? Because as I said before, oftentimes we have to go out and go out on a limb and we don't have all the answers. And so the clarity happens after we're obedient, after we go out on faith, and then that's the great things, the miracles, the things, the great surprises. That's when that occurs if we flip that mantra and that mindset. So that's something that I think will help us in the long run as leaders.
So if you're waiting for everything to make sense before you make your move, you might just never move at all. Faith isn't the absence of fear, it's the presence of conviction. So this week, lead with boldness, lead with trust, but most of all, lead with faith first. Thank you guys for watching today. If this spoke to you, please share it with someone who needs a reminder to move forward, even if they don't have all the answers. Don't forget to subscribe for more leadership insight that's rooted in faith. Like, comment, and let us know, how are you stepping out on faith this week? Don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming conversations. Remember, keep leading with courage and join us on the next episode where we unpack the pressures of leadership. See you then. Ciao.